An NFL player ran off on a woman who did favors for him without paying the bill. Another NFL quarterback's wife is going rogue about how she cheated on him with his backup. And of course, we got to talk about the pop out and versus all of that and more coming up on RSVP with Jill Monroe. All right, guys, let's get into it. Eagles offensive lineman Terrell Lewis ran off on the plug. And by plug, I mean a young lady who engaged in a bit of service for him. And with that, he was supposed to pay her, but he didn't. Listen, if you've missed this on social media, I don't know how. A young lady, her name is Mia Mercy. She's an OnlyFans model. She recently posted to social media a video of herself and Eagles outside linebacker Terrell Lewis. Is it Terrell or Terrell? We're going to go with Terrell. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Where they had just had an exchange and he was supposed to pay her and he ran off on the plug. Let's check out the video.
Oh my God.
All right, so you saw that. The reason why we have this footage is because Mia put it online, tagging the Eagles, various media organizations, the NFL, as if they can do something about her illegal activities to get him back. I understand she was probably trying to shame him, maybe trying to warn other young ladies who engage in this profession not to engage in it with him. But girl, really, you are butt booty naked running down the hallway. And by the way, she looked rather fast. She looked like she caught up with him quickly. So if you're wondering who's recording it, it was her friend. I know, and I'm not sure if they were like all engaging together. There's some rumors circulating online as to why Terrell ran off on the plug. Some say it's because they were recording him and he didn't want to be recorded. Others are stating the obvious. He didn't want to pay for the service for whatever reason. But Mia recently went on the No Jumper podcast to explain her side of the events.
I dressed real fast. I said,
"Oh, that's a telltale sign."
That's a red flag. Flag on the play. Where the fuck are you going, sir? Where the fuck are you going? And that was that. Adam, like, yeah, it got serious up in there. I'll be standing on business.
Okay, so he sprints the fuck out of there, and then you guys take off after him to make sure you get the clip.
I don't know why I was running after him, Adam. I was so pissed.
Well, you wanted your money, but you figured if you couldn't get your money, then you might as well like get this content of him and expose him, right?
I mean, no, it wasn't to expose him. It wasn't to expose him in any way. I really was pissed at that point, and it was just like, what else is there to do? Like, I never have niggas do shit like that.
Now, once again, I say, really, girl? Really? I don't know. What happened to keeping those? I know we're in a different era where we've had slut walks and OnlyFans and all of this, coochie at a value thing. And I'm not mad at it, but dang, some things I believe that privacy is important. I believe that we should be a little more discreet about things. And that is not my profession, but I believe, from what I understand, aren't you supposed to get payment up front unless it's like a sugar baby thing or something like that where you're getting the girlfriend or giving the girlfriend experience, and so they leave it as a gift after? But that doesn't seem like what this was. So I guess she let the next girl know what she's in for. Topic that we have to get into. Listen, this NFL quarterback's wife, quarterback is the key position if you ask anyone about the game of football, the all-American position, the untouchable position. So therefore his wife, right, should be in high regard to a certain degree. if we're going by those standards. Well, the Rams quarterback, Matthew Stafford, his wife, Kelly, she has a podcast, I believe, and she's on the podcast circuit right now discussing things, right? So Kelly revealed that back in college, when she and Matt were dating, she wanted him to step it up and do a little bit more. So when he wasn't, she got with the backup quarterback, his backup quarterback, and decided to have a little sprinkle to the situation. At any rate, I guess it worked. They, obviously ended up back together, married, 4 kids later. Matt is a Super Bowl winning quarterback here for the LA Rams, my team. But a lot of men, Stephen A. Smith and the Pivot podcast, especially Channing Crowder, are disgusted with Kelly for revealing this information. They feel it's emasculating. There is no reason for this. There is no positive thing that can come of revealing this information, and it is embarrassing to him as a man. And here's the thing, it is, right? But I find all the brimstone and thunder about it really funny, especially considering the era that we're in. Every ex-male athlete, some current, they have a podcast. And on these podcasts are stories about their wilder times at a certain degree, or they're engaging in someone else sharing their story about their wilder times. Sometimes these people are in relationships. Sometimes the people that they are discussing are in relationships. And nobody has a problem with that. Back in the day, they used to say, oh, gossip, that's women's activities. But guess what? I have always found that the best gossip I have gotten has been from men, especially male athletes. So while I do understand what they're talking about with Kelly doing a bit much, I personally probably would not have revealed that information about my husband. It's different if you're talking about your boyfriend and it's an ex, but your husband, I see how it can be sensitive, but all the men that are mad, upset, and angry, be realistic because you guys are out there talking too. Okay, let's get into the revelation that Timberland and Swizz Beatz dropped on Juneteenth, no less, that they have linked up with Elon Musk and X to continue the Versus platform. We know it started off on Instagram during the pandemic, then it went to Triller, and it was a really big production. And some people felt it lost its true core, authentic self when it made that transition. Everybody got paid, but then Tim and Swizz ended up suing Triller, saying basically that they defrauded them. Well, I don't know if the word defrauded was used. Let me back up. But basically that they didn't live up to their end of the agreement as far as what they were to provide, the money, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I don't know if that suit has been resolved, but they are out of that deal and struck a new one with Twitter. Now, some people feel, X. It's always going to be Twitter to me. X is a stupid name and it's Twitter. But anyway, a lot of people are upset because they feel like Elon is a tad or a lot, depending upon who you ask, racist. And they wonder why Tim and Swizz continue to, in their words, sell out by linking up with people that ultimately aren't for the culture. You know, it's interesting because I say this knowing that I'm a wee bit hypocritical in that I enjoy X, well, Twitter. Not as much as I used to, but it is one of my favorite social media platforms. Now, we know that it can get crazy. We know that there are a lot of trolls and bots on there, but there are things about it that I really like. So I still have my account. Why would I expect them not to do a deal? However, I do feel like, the culture isn't there, even though the culture may be around, the culture isn't there. And this individual isn't for the culture, which is the whole thing that Versus is supposed to be about. So I don't know, multi-millionaire problems, I guess, but made off of, to a degree, at least with this venture, our views and dollars and merch support. So, I mean, we will vote with our views. We'll see what happens. If there are intriguing enough matchups, I'm sure people are going to tap in. We know one of the big ones that they had planned, one of the last ones for Triller, was supposed to take place, I believe it was last September, with Bad Boy and So So Def. We know that is probably never going to happen. We know why. No need to go into all of that. However, I wonder what matchup they could put together that would make people say, oh my God, I gotta tap in. I gotta see it. All right, last topic for the day. You know that I am LA down. Maybe you don't. If you don't, I am Jill Monroe, LA native, LA legend, and I represent my city. So on Juneteenth, Kendrick Lamar and friends, Ken and friends, took over the Kia Forum for the pop out. And what I loved about this thing is that he showcased a lot of LA artists, some of them maybe not ready for the spotlight, but that's okay. Sharing his platform on a national stage. If you didn't know, the concert was streamed on Amazon, sold out like crazy. I tried to get my tickets. I was like 66,000 in the queue. The forum only holds like 20,000 people. So Anyway, that's not an important part of this conversation. We know Dre was there. I do wish that there had maybe been a couple of more OGs. I would have liked to see somebody like DJ Quick, who's also from Compton, come in. But, you do what you did. Obviously, we know we got 5 reruns back of They Not Like Us. Then Kendrick went to Compton to shoot the They Not Like Us video. They had Bobby Atoff there. YG brought her. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, just thought it was worth mentioning. We know that The Game, who's also from Compton, was a little sad that he wasn't in attendance for it. And he said, it's not a big deal. Remember when all of this first started, he popped out and defended Drake. And this is what I will say about all of this. I mean, if that's your friend and he hasn't done you bad business, that's what you do. But Game always seems to be on the wrong side of these events. Like he wasn't at the Super Bowl with 50 there, who's not even from the West Coast, Mary, Dre, Eminem, Snoop, all of that. But he'll be okay. Allegedly, well, not even really allegedly, but he has a new baby on the way with Evelyn Lozada's daughter, Shanice. And Whack 100, if you've heard of him, he like managed Ray J, and he's around, used to be affiliated in some sort of way with that type of life, is now in entertainment, as happens. He said that The Game was dealing with something related to a situation with Shanice. So if that is the case, I hope everything is okay, and sending them strong and positive vibes. Are there questions about Shanice having a baby with The Game? I mean, one, let's start with the obvious. Love is beautiful. Bringing a baby into the world is beautiful. I hope they are happy, healthy, and it's none of our business. But we're here to get into some business. So what I will say is that that's a choice. That is a choice. A lot of people have pointed out that Evelyn used to be friends with The Game's ex-fiance and the mother to his they were his youngest children, not anymore. His son King and his daughter Callie. Shanice is having a girl, so he will have a new baby girl. We'll have to see how it all turns out. Yeah, but back to the Ken and Friends, the pop out. Here's the thing. Will Drake be okay? His fans, sure. Will he have the cachet that he had before? Probably not. I mean, will he still be able to move comfortably? We'll have to see. The music industry is changing, and this does seem like it has been a celebration. But I think for some people, it's less about Drake and Drake hate, although a lot of people have jumped on that bandwagon, and more about the fact that, look, it's a hot song. Thanks, guys, for locking in. I'm Jill Monroe. Thank you for checking out my show here on YouTube.